The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Andy Serling in the clubhouse studio. Anthony Stabile, big day for Anthony. He's to my left. We'll talk about that big day in a moment. 10-race card today as we end the racing today this week. We'll be off for 5 days this week. We'll be back in action next Saturday. That Saturday card has actually already been drawn. It's a pretty good card as well. However, we have 10 today to talk about, and you know the drill. Head on over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present. We'll match up to a $200 deposit bonus, and you sign up with the promo code Big A. Also through Naira Bets today, on the app only, free $25 bet on race 3 at Turf Paradise. The track where in the past it's been known to rain. They took the races off the turf and put them on the dirt.
Yes, sir.
Off the dirt and put them on the turf.
I have seen that.
Right. Anyway, if your horse loses, if it wins, you collect. If it doesn't, you get the money back.
Nice and simple. That's essentially a free bet.
It is. It is.
Free bet.
Now, big day for you today, calling the last 5 races.
Last
today.
5, late pick 5. The Big A, essentially the Big A late pick 5, so you're going to want to get involved over at Naira Bets for sure. Yeah, looking forward to spelling Johnny I as we get ready for the holiday break.
You think you're up to it?
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. If you don't celebrate anything, like Happy Wednesday.
In theory, I celebrate Hanukkah.
I know. In theory, right. In theory.
In theory. Well, we had a menorah when I was a kid, you know.
Current, I was 100 pounds when I was a kid.
No,
I was 5, but I was 100 pounds once. We matched today.
I thought I wanted them this last day before the holiday.
We didn't coordinate that either. We kind of, you know, we've gotten to a regular Ozzie and Harriet routine.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How many times in your life did you see Jose's leaving? Jose, by the way, remarkable job filling in for the cameraman, the invisible cameraman.
Camera person.
The invisible camera person. Jose came in here, and in 2 minutes he had the whole thing set up.
Lickety split.
Yeah.
How many Ozzie and Harriet episodes have I seen?
Yeah.
Plenty.
Really?
Yeah, Nick at Night and a bunch of old stuff.
Never seen it.
Oh, yeah. Antenna TV, Me TV, I think it's called.
Never seen it.
Yeah. Really?
Ozzie and Harriet's pretty dated. It's before my time.
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s, I want to say.
I said, it's pretty dated.
I took a lot of those classes.
You practically live in that kind of world, though.
I took a lot. Well, I'm still home, so yes, my stepfather's, yeah. And I took a lot of those courses at St. John's. History of television, history of
I know there's something you must
picture.
have done to get through 4 years at St. John's.
I majored in aqueduct and I minored in Yonkers. I told you this.
Race number 1 is a bring-back race from Thursday. It's Thursday's last. They managed to find the race on Thursday I was least interested in.
I'm assuming this has to do with the Lasix.
Well, I think it's
perhaps these horses weren't
maybe,
treated.
but I'm not sure about that because I was talking to a trainer that said they can run back in 2 days, so I'm not sure about that.
They can, but I don't think it's preferred.
Okay, so perhaps that's the case. So we pretty much got the same discussion we had here the other day. We'll look at Courageous Girl, who finished second, and the first-time star Miamish Michelle, who finished third in a 4-horse field behind More Glitter back at Belmont Park. I don't know, like you, I thought that Miamish Michelle would be, I don't know, just thought that maybe the benefit of a race under her belt. I also think she should be more forward than the pace projector thinks she's going to be. We'll see if that's the case. And, same conversation from the other day. I just, like you, I just thought one race of experience for trainers' horses usually need a start.
That was it. Plain and simple. Couldn't agree with you more. Impressed the professor up a little bit. But that's
I didn't show that replay. I forgot to bring that replay back up. Why did I show that?
That was the horse. That was the filly that.
I should have shown that.
Yeah, she made up a ton of ground while racing inside. And Kind of lost contact with the field early, but the discussion we had,
impressive.
the discussion we had on Thursday was how many of these horses have we got sucked into in the past that you see these horses make the big run going the 6.5 furlong, any sprint distance, they stretch out to a mile or so, and you see these horses just not be as impactful because the pace and the shorter distance kind of help them with their big kick, as opposed to now having to make a little bit of a more prolonged run. Even with that said, I moved her up a little bit after rewatching that replay.
She did run okay that race. She actually did, and she was down towards the inside for some of the running, and that was a day you didn't want to be on the rail, November 21st. We'll see if she can stretch that effectively for trainer Phil Serpy. But I went to the horse that ran 1-2. You've got Topaz Bride, the horse that ran the turf first time out. Now, some of these turf horses run. This horse didn't run that badly, and there is some dirt pedigree in this horse.
Yeah, some dirt pedigree. Showed a little speed first time out. That was about it.
Yeah, didn't think that horse was impossible. Didn't really have anything that was well off the beaten path in this race. I'm not sure I found a lot of ideas today, whether it helps or not, that are particularly clever. Race number 2, I have to imagine in race number 2 that they'll make Stand for the Flag, and this is Stand for the Flag breaking her maiden in a sloppy track, 3 starts back, make her the favorite. I'm not sold on this horse.
You know, I'm going to say this at the risk of taking some heat from you. I think when you look at this race, this was the one she's winning on a sloppy track.
Well, from a speed figure standpoint, this is the fastest race she's run. I cannot argue that by a lot.
And
I can't argue against that.
I think when you look at the fact that she came back and won at Parks on a fast track, and then she just didn't do much running last time.
And I know she was 9-1, but she was brutal. The pace totally held together in that race. I agree. She was bad brutal last time. It's one thing to run 4th, beaten 4 lengths in there. She was terrible.
She was done at the half mile.
Yeah.
And you have to, I think now especially, you see the big regression in speed figures from the win at Belmont to the win at Parks, and then again on another fast track. You have to wonder if that big effort at Belmont Park was just all about a sloppy track. Maybe it wasn't. But you know what? She's going to be under 2-1.
Even if it wasn't the sloppy track, it's an aberrational fig for her.
No question about it.
The question is, what other races she have? Now, I don't think it's a unfair argument that the race 2 back and 4 back are fast enough to make her a player.
Race 4 back was off almost a year layoff.
So
no question about it.
She's not an impossible.
But is she 2-1? No, she's not 2-1 based on that form.
Okay, what am I missing about Maddie's Magnum?
What do you mean?
Well, she's woefully slow.
She is. She is. I had a hole in Stand for the Flag. I know our girl No Games coming back from Finger Lakes, and I don't trust the rest of them in here. And I know this filly had a good run last year.
And off the turf races.
Yeah, and off the turf races.
Like Silver Shaker and Naples Legacy.
I understand that, but
Theodosia.
At the very least, she did some running late in those races. I do not trust any of the others in here, and of the horses that I think can win this race, she is going to be the biggest price.
Well, Maddie's Magnum has 0 chance based on her races in the dirt last year. Not even, she's 100-1 on her races last year. Having said that, the question is whether or not you feel, or I would think the question is whether or not you feel that she has improved since last year, because her turf races are actually better. Now, it's mostly a function of her running in tougher spots and being dragged along in the nature of turf racing, and I think it makes her look better than she is. And as a result, you're going to get 4 or 5 to 1 on a horse that's probably 15 or 20 to 1 to win this race. So I view her as an underlay. People are going to look at her dirt record and not understand those were ridiculous, phony off the turf races.
No, I understand that, but I do also think she's gotten a little bit better. Because her turf numbers seem to have improved, and you could be right. It's just maybe the company she kept and the fact that the spots were tougher.
I think it's more the company she kept.
But let me ask you a question. Okay, you're going to take a little shot off, I don't want to say off the reservation. But
I'm not in love with my horse either. I'm not going to, you're right.
Has Daria's Angel been the same since the break?
Well, I don't particularly like Daria's
Angel. I'm just saying,
Angel.
she hasn't been the same since the break, right? I really don't know what to make of Stand for the Flag on the wet track race. What do you want to do with Monaco Princess?
Is No Gain really going to be a 5th choice in here? That I'll actually bet her in here.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to think.
Why would she? What's wrong with a race 2 back when she might be? I know she's fallen apart, but she ran that day. She's got good races at Aqueduct at times. Last time out, she was in an utterly impossible start trying to chase the pace. It's a far different pace scenario here. Daria's Angel probably goes, and she probably sits second to her. If Dylan isn't aggressive with Daria's Angel, she could find herself in front. Is she really supposed to be the 5th choice in this race?
I mean, She's
Really?
probably supposed to be a
You don't like
similar
her at all,
price.
so-
She's probably supposed to be well, she's the 5th horse for me, and I'm a big fan
well,
of
it's a
hers.
6-horse field.
Yeah,
It's really a 5-horse field.
Listen, she can win. She can absolutely win this race. I think people are a little turned off by her more recent efforts on the circuit. Now, they've come against better fields.
What about her race at Aqueduct in April? Her last race at Aqueduct, only 5 races back. Wouldn't that win this race?
It was also 7 months ago, Andy.
I understand. She ran against Dunbar Road. I don't know. I thought she made a lot of sense in here. I hope David's right. She's that big a price. That would be great. I don't see that at all. I don't see how why is she a bigger price than Monaco Princess? What am I missing about Monaco Princess?
I think Monaco Princess's race is going the 7 and the mile. I know the mile race wasn't that fast, but I think the assumption is she's going to improve a little bit with the extra furlong.
Why?
Well,
what about her last race? Says she wants more ground.
It was a weird race, the last race. That was a strain. That race
the winner
unfolded.
got left and still won the race quite easily. Monaco Princess 5-2 morning line. Oh, I hope David's right. I saw this race very differently.
Obviously.
Listen, Maddie's Magnum. I hope that horse gets bet. I don't think that horse has a chance. With all due respect to Dave Donk, I don't get her at all. I thought David was just very smart and opportunistic with her. You got to hope she's improved since last year. Race number 3. Not a lot going on as far as horses with experience in race number 3. And for me, the 4, Kansas Kiss. Horse had experience. I know last time out, tired chasing. A lot of horses tired chasing on that track, that deeper track. Track's been much fairer this week. I thought Kansas Kiss. I just didn't want to take a firster, so I took the horse with experience, who seems clearly best.
Yeah, I took the 2 firsters over the horse with experience. I didn't really have much to say in here, just taking a shot. Marks.
What do you have to say about the 5 Champagne Lady? You picked her. You have something to say about her.
Well, I like the last couple of breezes. Mark's horses, the firsters have seemed to all run this year. They paid a lot of money for this horse. A lot of them have run.
Some of them,
yeah,
some of them have run. You said all of them have run. They haven't all run.
No, they have all
some
run.
of them have run a little bit. For the most part,
running.
his firsters have not won here. That is not.
Yeah, but I don't know if do you feel? I feel like this time of year in this field in particular, I don't think this horse would have to be much. Would you? Do you?
The question is, what was the scenario that Mark left the horse in New York over the winter? Now, one thing you could say is
$68,000.
One thing you could say is that the purses are significantly better. This purse is $68,000 here. It's $50,000 down at Gulfstream. I don't know how they get away with those purses. I really don't. And second of all,
the whole state, by the way.
Second of all,
Tampa as well. It's a joke.
Tampa doesn't have the same supposed handle
that
Gulfstream
but it's
has.
ridiculous.
Gulfstream is putting up handle numbers that look like Saratoga.
Wow.
I don't know what they mean. I don't know where they come from, but they're putting them up, and I don't know how it happens, but that's another discussion. The other thing is that maybe he's thinking, not only can I run for more money, I don't have to knock heads with 1 or 2 Pletchers in every race. It's not just Todd. There's a lot of guys with live firster looking down there. We saw Ralph Nix, that 98 buyer the other day. So that's understandable. Now, do you understand this horse's pedigree? Do you understand why this horse sold for almost $1 million? You could look up pedigree. Okay, this horse is a full to Motown, for what it's worth. Now, Motown was briefly on the Derby Trail and had some people. You haven't even confused Javier Castellano, who chose to ride him and finish last in the Wood Memorial instead of Cloud Computing. And he luckily got back on Cloud Computing to win the Preakness a few weeks later.
Yep.
He did turn out to be a Grade 1 turf horse, as it turned out. The other foals are unraced. A lot of money to spend for this horse. The Dam, do you remember the Dam? Dam race for Chad.
Chad, right?
Yeah,
that's what I
Chad
thought.
Brown horse. I think ran second. Won its second start up here. Anyhow, this horse has some pedigree. It's a lot of money. We'll see. I don't know. I have the horse in the mix. What about the one for Mike Maker? The first-time starter.
Yeah, I put them 1 2. He shipped
this horse, some good works out of town.
this horse up from Churchill Downs, from the training center. Has a breeze over the Belmont training track. Like I said, I just wanted the 2 first.
Eric Keogh has one in here. Yeah, Mount Rushmore. I love that. If that moved to Florida, maybe they could make a recreation, next to Pegasus.
We're going to have to start turning off some of these other monitors.
I love the Gulf. I love that Gulfstream. They've had it for like 15 years, and they show Washington, D.C. and the Washington Monument. And I'm just trying to figure out.
Fireworks, kid.
What does it have to do with Gulfstream Park?
It's America, Andy.
So what?
Has to do with America.
Okay. So American flag. Anyhow. Eric
Iwo Jima.
Eric Eo with one in here. You weren't excited that Eric had one? You know the second dam of Eric Eo's horse, Rude Awakening, is? Mayfield. Do you remember Mayfield? Mayfield won the inaugural running of the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint at Monmouth Park. In her prior start, she beat
Merrifield.
Yeah. In her prior start, she beat Furlow by an unbelievable head bob to win the ballerina. I made a big bet on that day. She was a big price. Now remember, I thought she lost, and then I couldn't believe it.
Was that Steve Casares?
Who?
Who was Merrifield?
Wasn't she a California horse? Maybe not. I don't know if it was Steve.
I don't remember.
Look it up. Anyway, okay, we'll see what happens in race number 3. Race number 4. We head through this card today. Race number 4. What did you do in race number 4?
I went to Freudian Sip.
So she was scratched going to the gate here because Maggie said she flipped in the paddock.
He flipped in the paddock.
He flipped in the paddock, excuse me.
Yeah, he flipped in the paddock.
I liked him last time.
Yep. Well, he probably was
Well,
so excited. He was
Go
probably so excited that you
ahead.
liked
I want
him.
you to tell people why you like him.
Probably so excited that you liked him
Why
that
do
he
you
just
like
couldn't
him?
contain himself.
Why do you like him?
I like him more than I like the rest of these horses.
That's not an answer. You got it's Christmas season coming up. Give him something.
What do you want me to give him?
You like him more. Why
You're
do you
a
like?
real scooch
Why
today
do you
again.
like him more? No, I want some.
Well, where do you want to go in here?
No, I want to know why you like this horse.
I just told you why
What
I like
is
him.
better about?
I like him less than I like him more than I like the rest of these horses.
It's not an answer.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. Come on, Anthony.
We've talked about this. There are some races.
Well, why did he run badly last time?
There are some races you
Why
have
did he
to
run badly
handicap.
last time?
There are some races you have to handicap
Ridiculous.
that we make picks in that we don't like. The worst reason you can bet a racehorse is because you don't like the rest. It's the worst reason in the world to bet on a racehorse.
Not always. Sometimes you win right versus price
I
elimination.
don't agree with that.
Okay, I think the reason to like Freudian Sip, because you do have to excuse his last race, because obviously if he runs his last race, he's not winning here. In my opinion, he just got completely lost in that race. He's a horse that's been much more effective when he's been forwardly placed. Now, my one criticism of Dylan Davis is he's unaggressive way too often. And it was the first time Dylan rode him, and he just basically took the horse completely out of the race. I know Dylan's a good rider. I like Dylan, but you have to admit, at times Dylan does not get horses as forward as they should be. This is a horse that needs to be much more forward, and I would hope that from that experience he's learned there's not much speed in this race. He is supposed to be forward with this horse. Well, I think these are important things. I think it's important to discuss why. Why does a horse run as badly as he did last time? It's not just the competition.
Why are
was
you
tougher.
going to assume that Dylan Davis is going to do something differently than he did the last time?
Well, then he has no chance. If he wants to be effective in here, he needs to be forward. If his horse if he wants to have a shot with this horse, he needs to be forward, and that's up to him and Mike Maselli. And I understand one of the reasons you picked him, and it's fine, is that Mike Maselli's won a lot of races this year. It's okay, but that's another reason to like this horse. That Mike Smarrin has been extremely live in 2019. But this horse cannot win with that running style. Look at the races this horse has run when he has not been forward.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Look at the races he's run. They're all horrible.
Okay, but let me say this in defense of Dylan. On paper last time, you thought this horse had a chance to be forward?
I didn't think he'd be 7th, 6 lengths beyond the pace.
That's fair
Dylan
enough.
took him back.
That's fair
I
enough.
watched the race. He took this horse back. No. I think it's a very fair criticism. I think it's a very fair criticism that he's unaggressive at times. Times he's not.
I think what happens around here more often than not
Disease of grab
is when the connections, whether it's the trainer or the rider or the owners, see that they cannot utilize their
So why would you take a horse out of the race? But there's a happy medium.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree.
I'm not saying
that I would do it,
maybe
and
Mike
certainly that's
Maselli
something you would
said,
do.
we just won sitting a couple lengths off the pace. Let's try sitting 7 lengths off the pace. I don't buy it, but maybe it happened. I'm not saying it, but I do.
There's been a little fast. I mean, you're right. It looked like Dylan took a considerable hold of him last time, and then but maybe he wrote to instructions. I don't know what to tell you. His first time
but
off the
those
plane.
Instructions are bad instructions, and if they have the same instructions again,
I'm not
they'll get nothing
disagreeing with
again.
you. I'm just saying, last time it was a much different case than today. This horse is supposed to be the pace
Wasn't
today.
that fast a pace last time? This horse had his face ripped off last time. Period. He was taken out of the race.
Okay.
It was bad tactics, whether it's Dylan or not. But he's riding him again. You have to think you want him to be forward. Let me put it this way: how are you going to feel when this horse is 6th early?
See, I think you have to look at this race and realize that.
Anthony,
there's an excuse.
My question
if
was
it happened, then it's ridiculous.
Right. Okay. So if he's 6th early, you won't be happy. That's the only question.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I won't be happy.
That's what I'm saying. The one honest trade to me, I just think this horse is better in this field. I think he's supposed to beat these horses off the claim for Linda Rice. You look at the horses he's run against. I'll tell you something else about him. gets back to a fast track. Last time Autostrade has been in a fast track was in February at Laurel, and he ran a 78 buyer. I understand, but he wasn't Todd Pletcher. He was Graham Motion then. Now Linda's claimed this horse. Maybe he's not the same horse. It does seem like the drawing away horses have all been running recently, but this is a horse that just needs to get back to a fast track.
Yeah. You know what? They better hope that's the case. Otherwise, this horse, they got a little grief with him, I think.
I'm not sure. His last race can't win this race.
Yeah.
What, his last race is so bad?
No, it's
so
not.
good in here.
No.
You really trust
There's not
Freudian
much-
Sip?
I don't trust any of them.
Frankly, other than Freudian Sip's race 2 back, he's not fast at all.
No.
And his race 2 back was a they knew. They knew that he was going to run. They knew. So I put him second because honestly, I thought Autostrade was going to win this race, and I didn't like anybody else. They knew he was going to run, and he ran far and away the best race he's ever run. Race number 5. These are maidens, and we'll look at La Negrita, who you have on top in here. She is 7-5 morning line, and I guess if she runs her last race, she'll probably win.
You know, when you go through this race, to me, this may have been the easiest one on the card because not only if she runs her last race, the truth of the matter is if she runs her last 2 dirt races, she's going to beat these horses.
I don't know about that. Her race 2 back isn't that good.
I'm not saying it's that good. I'm saying it's probably going to beat these horses.
I don't know about that. I think only this race.
See, the only horse that she would have to worry about if she ran the race 3 starts back would be the 6. Unless somebody jumps up in here and just has this remarkable
Big Sin's
turnaround.
last race is faster than La Negrita's race 3 back. I don't know. I'm taking the oddball. I'm not taking La Negrita at even money. You can have her. She may win. I'm going to take Sky Tap. Second time starter dropping. I don't disagree. She didn't do any running in that race. Autonomous didn't come back and run well. The second place finisher ran 2 buyer points worse, beating a field of first time starters. Third place finisher did improve 1 buyer point. She didn't do much running, and she didn't get bet that much one day, but she's the new face dropping down, and I just want to take somebody other than La Negrita.
She was the only other horse I think you can make any case for.
I wish I could have made a case for Bruce Levine's horse, Holiday Bell. I tried. Oh, I tried. She did break a length and a half slow last time out, but I don't know. She didn't seem to do any running at all.
That was rough. That was a rough effort.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the maiden 40 against the state breds that there's much difference between the open maiden 30. So it's not even like she's dropping down.
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
She was 60, 55 to 1.
It's Bruce Levine, right? That's my problem. It's 55 to 1. Dylan gets the mount. I was looking at that, and I thought maybe we'll see a second-time starter. But I agree. I wished I looked long and hard, and I obviously didn't pick the horse at all.
She'd probably be the only case you could make for quote-unquote goofball in here, right? I mean,
she feels like it. I guess the one, Kefaliani.
Yeah, she's technically a drop down too.
Charlie Baker cost me a fortune in the last races. They beating me.
I don't know what to tell you.
Bitter.
I'm using 2s and 8s.
Okay. Nothing else? I didn't have anything else.
I don't think so.
Race number 6. Can't wait to see what happens in race number 6. What?
Nothing.
I thought you were saying or
no.
Oh, race number 6, the first race day Anthony calls. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Got a scratch in here. 6-horse field has started out, kind of ease into it. How many got in the last? 13?
13.
Can't wait for that.
13 on the second longest day of the year.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that you will get? Is your
If there's
goal,
not a belief, it's a guarantee I will get through the field. Everybody will get called
more
at
than
least
once.
At least once. It's only is it 6 or 6.5?
Wouldn't you like to be as confident in life as
Here's
Anthony
how it works,
Stabile?
man.
You should be like, who's that guy, Tony Robbins?
6.5.
Tony
It's 6.5.
Robbins? Is that the guy?
Tony
You should be
Robbins.
like him, like a.
Listen, people put their money up. People own horses. People get up every day to take care of these horses.
I agree.
It was funny. I don't follow him, but
I
Fergal
agree.
O'Brien's a trainer over in England, a jump trainer, I believe, and he tweeted out how there's no racing there for the next 4 days. How he's given everybody off and he's turned the horses loose, and they're going to fend for themselves for the 4 days. These horses got to be watered and fed and walked every day. It's 365, 24/7. The least I can do as a track announcer is give everybody one call during
You know
the
what I
race.
wish we could do for the fans? I wish they could sit on a phone call from Frank Miramati to Anthony Stabile. That's what I wish people could sit through. Okay, that's comedy at the
Some
highest
of them
order.
would be worth a lot of money, I can tell you that.
So the 4, she takes charge. Here's her last race. This is the last race, and everybody believed there should have been an FBI investigation into Joel Rosario, getting pretty much the exact same speed figure
Feds
she
just
got
left,
in
actually.
her prior race. I'm going to tell you something. You have to be very careful in races of evaluating them before you have a chance to look at speed figures, look at everything. This horse ran a race last time. I understand that she was a lot farther back than any of us expect her to be. I bet you she was farther back than Joelle expected her to be.
Yeah.
I don't know, though, that considering that all the commotion about Joelle, whether I think it was ridiculous. And the other thing is, a friend of mine made a very interesting point about October 23rd, and that was her prior race where she got the 80 buyer. I believe there were only 3 dirt races that day. And a very smart friend of mine said, and he's not just talking about buyers, he looked at, because this is a very fast race in Timeform US and other speed figures he looks at too. He thinks a lot of speed figure makers had difficulty making figures.
Because of the track?
Because there were 3 dirt races and they probably were spread apart, and thinks there's a possibility that all the figs that day were a little bit on the high side, which makes her race, basically the last race, she ran a race last time, she lost. First of all, I thought she'd win last time, you thought she'd win. Did you think you wanted 270 on her? If somebody said to you, you can bet 200 on her at 270 or book 200 on her, you'd have booked the 200 in a heartbeat. She was ridiculously overbet last time. They bet horses these days like they just can't lose. Like no reason to run the race. And I think that's silly.
And if you take just some basic principles of handicapping, she was second off of a 10-month break last time.
Stretching out to a mile.
Like,
which she hadn't been effective in before. And listen, I picked her too.
I'm not telling you right. We both picked her. We weren't saying she was a bet against.
I didn't like Maiden Beauty. I had her fourth. You had her out.
But like you said, if it's 100 years ago, we're standing on the first floor. We're taking every dime we possibly can on the way.
And then
no question about it.
And the knee-jerk reaction of people to say there was some sort of
stupidity.
Shenanigans. But forgetting about, yes, I agree, it's utter stupidity. But it also precludes people from trying to figure out what really happened.
What happened?
And what I think happened? I think she was second off a layoff. She's a little bit goofy, and frankly, she ran a race.
And by the way, she had that 10-month break, so obviously there was an issue because people don't just put their horses on the shelves for 10 months for no reason.
She's going to be a little closer to the pace today, maybe on top of the pace, and people are going to say, see? And she probably would have run a 74 buyer, and they'll still say see. Okay, I'm wrong. Aragona just texted me. It's not the 3 dirt races. It was a day we were off the turf, and the track was changing during the day, and there was a lot going on. Excuse me, I was wrong about that. Thank you, David, for that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been some. There was that weird figure in the feature where Rapt won that 4-horse off the turf race and stuff. So it was a tricky day.
Beat the Mott horse that broke the maiden in the open.
In
the
this
last
race, though,
Saratoga.
I mean, if you don't pick her, you picked against her.
I did.
Oh, Chad had one in here. This your holiday? You didn't want to get the holidays without picking Chad?
I just wanted.
Bill
I don't
Lawrence,
trust
you
her.
want to get on Bill's?
I don't trust her, and I feel like because of what happened last time, she takes charge. Is again going to be 3 to 5.
Agreed. She's going to.
And I don't trust her. I don't trust her. Period. But I think you really have to take a look now, Andy, and see that these 2-mile races, she's not as effective.
What price would Love and Love be? What price would Love and Love, who Awesome Milana, be in this race? What price would she be?
Giant price.
70, 80, 150, 2,000, 3,000 to 1?
I agree with you that she takes charge, is going to be more forwardly placed. I would imagine that.
Well, wait a minute, it's the speed. I don't know why she was rated last time. They need to go with her again today.
Eric has been a lot more aggressive recently, and I'm hoping he just gets the jump on some of these horses. And I don't trust she takes charge.
Isn't Veradia faster?
I mean, I guess, but she's going to be, I think she's going to be overbet. I know she
Here's
won
the
here
problem,
last
though,
time.
Anthony. You've taken a horse that, because it's trained by Chad Brown, is going to be overbet. She's a
Yeah,
10 to 1 shot here.
But she's
that's
going to
doesn't matter.
She's going to be the third choice.
You don't think she's 10 to 1 in this race?
You don't think there's a chance where Dodley Princess takes more money than she does?
None. How much you want to bet on that?
No, I don't. I'm just. I said
none. I think there's a
chance.
better chance that you sprout wings and fly out of the booth.
Wow.
There's no chance that with Dodley Princess will be a shorter price. No, that's absurd. You know that. Stop. Chad Brown versus Pat Kelly.
I thought David had a 4 and 4. I had them 4 and 6. It's 4 and 8.
Okay, I tell you what, she won't be 2 points from her.
Listen, you might be right. I'm not going to argue the point. I'm not going to.
I don't know if Dodley Princess wants to go a mile. And I'm still not convinced how good she is.
I don't either, but
I'm going to give her a chance here because I think she's actually pretty good.
Listen, I'm not using just 2 of them. I'm using with Dodley Princess as well because I don't. It's not like I trust Awesome Milana. I trust her. She's going to be 3 times the price if she takes charge.
But she's supposed to be.
I understand that, but I'm not going to take it.
But
I have more questions about she takes charge than I do about Awesome Milana.
But Anthony, there are $4 horses that are overlays, and there are $40 horses that are underlays.
I get it. But I'm not going to take what Dodley Princess with the same. I have the
It's fine to take what Dodley Princess, but Awesome Milana?
I have more trust in her working out the right trip and getting the mile than I do when she takes charge at 3 to 5.
What happens when she looks around for love and she doesn't find she's not in the field?
Listen, she might, but I'm going to find out at 4 to 1.
The only thing you can say about her, she
5.
improved a little bit last time. That's the only thing you can say about her, is she improved a little bit last time. That's the best you can say about her. She's got more improving to do.
Oh, so
what about
she absolutely
Veradia?
does.
What about Veradia? I mean, I know this is a big class test for her, but she's running fast races.
Mikey's Philly and Bridal Adventure. Mike Tedesco went down and won pretty easily in a starter allowance at
3 to
Parks
5
the other day. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you got to worry about this, right? I mean, she's facing Statebridge. This could very well be for the first time, which is weird because she has a ton of races.
No, she must.
And she was here.
Well, I have her first 12 races.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Race number 7.
More combative than usual today.
I had race. Well, we're going to be off for 5 days.
I
There's a lot we gotta
figured
get
next
out.
Saturday would be the day I'd have to take something to keep myself calm and not have to get
I'm
too...
trying to pressure you into being ready.
I'm
ready
ready.
to defend and not just say,
I'm
I like the horse more than anybody else.
There were a couple of races that I felt
you gotta
that
do
way
better than
today.
that. Race number 7. Go ahead, defend your pick here. This race gave me a huge headache.
Defend my pick
let's,
here?
Let's discuss Reed Kahn to start, a horse you and I
Okay.
both have third, because the race does go through him.
Yeah, it
This is
does.
the good Reed Kahn.
Does he exist anymore?
Reed
I
Kahn
don't
was a
know.
horse that Mike Dubb kept dropping down despite fast figures. Jason Service, I know he held him together. Cantermassey held him together for 3 starts. I give him a lot of credit, including this one. And then the thing just collapsed. And now the horse has been off for over 6 months. I don't know what to expect from this horse. If he wins, I won't be shocked, but I couldn't bet him in a million years.
First issue I had with Reed Kahn. The first issue I had with Reed Kahn. Reed Kahn is not in for the waiver today when he would be eligible for it because he ran for 40 last time and he could have been eligible for the waiver today.
Ooh.
Not in for the waiver.
Very good.
That is
very good.
Not a good sign, I don't think. Unless they're trying to pull the double reverberation and make you think that it's not a good sign because it is a good sign. I don't know if that's the case.
Take a position. All right,
I think that's rough.
Aristocratic is the other speed. Plus, he's going to have to stalk. Now, do you think, and we'll take a look at Aristocratic winning 2 back, do you think that Reed Kahn is going to not be that aggressive and maybe that'll allow Aristocratic to wire the field?
I don't know which Reed Kahn's going to show up now. More often than not, when a horse has a 6-7 month break, like Reed Kahn has, they come back a little sharp. They haven't faced a starter in 190 days, 200 days. I'm hoping that his speed has just left him, and it leaves.
The problem is,
Aristocratic to his own devices on the
Aristocratic
front
did
end.
get 6.5 here. He did it against a subpar field where he was able to absolutely stroll along on the front end. That's what concerns me. I think that this is a tougher bunch.
You might be right.
Look, I've got him second. I understand. I believe he'll be the speed of the speed, and he'll be in front of Reed Kahn. If he's not, he has no chance. I struggle with this race. You know, I've never been a big fan of Earned Success, but is claimed by Linda. If you get rid of the last race, his other figures are fast enough to win. I thought he'd set the good trip sitting third here on the outside.
You were
and that's why I
100%
picked
right
him.
when you started the conversation. The race goes through Reed Kahn. If you think Reed Kahn is still a factor, I think you have to use the 3 of them. If you don't, I think you're safe with the 5 and 8.
Look, Blessed Halo's coming out of a non-winners of 3 lifetime. It's a tougher spot, but he did show he could rate last time. But Blessed Halo has only been most effective when there's been water.
Yeah, he's facing some tougher
I wanted to make
competition today.
Bitumen cutting back, but
Yeah,
Bitumen.
tough.
By the Bitumen, you know,
Yeah, you're
Bitumen's
going to
famous.
harass this poor girl again.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm seeing her. I'm having dinner with her tonight.
Well, that's great.
So I'm going to
Tell
bring
her
it
I
on
said
and tell her
hello.
Bitumen's running.
Tell her I said hello.
Claude's here.
The A-team's back.
Thank God.
Part 2 of the
Claude,
A-team.
where have you been? Nobody told Claude to get here. You left your friend Andy. Like, the holidays coming, you left me all by myself. I'm a little hurt. Race number 8. Race number 8, we'll look at newly minted. We'll look at the start last time. And that Bridalwood Cat showed that her race, good rail in her maiden win was legit. But newly minted lost this race at the break. She breaks a length and a half behind. I'm not saying she would have won or not.
Right.
But she wasn't being Bridalwood Cat once that horse got this kind of jump on her. I thought she ran very well. I looked long and hard to try to beat her in here. I just think she's better than these horses.
This could very well, on a card where you may want to spread in some other races, this could be the bingo square today because, again, you don't know what would have happened last time, but the fact of the matter is her breaking the way she did not only hurt her chances, but Bridalwood Cat's job got made a whole lot easier because their main competition was out of contention by the time when the gate opened.
And frankly, she's close to an Omnifig newly minted, where every one of her
race,
figs, except Nonsensical, has that ridiculous Nonsensical
Well,
off the turf
race.
fig.
I mean, you throw the turf race out.
Off the turf, Anthony. That was an off the turf race. She got an 89.
What are you looking at?
Nonsensical, got an 89 buyer. And
Oh,
off
I
the
thought you were
turf
talking
race.
about newly minted with the nonsensical.
No, I'm saying
I
yes,
got
her
you.
dirt
The turf
races.
race. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
you can throw a
I
dirt
got
race
you.
out.
Yeah.
I agree. She's just supposed to win this race. Can proximity bias bounce back? Something must have gone badly wrong. Oh, she broke through the gate before the start.
Yeah,
but
remember?
Basically got eased in there.
Yep. That was that. Then obviously that affected her. We haven't seen her for almost 4
I
months.
thought Private Beach had a shot to get a little piece of
I
this.
guess.
I'm going to use her.
Okay.
I know her best race is a wet track, but I'm going to give her a shot behind. She ran the same race that proximity bias ran third in. But
It was hard to get past newly minted for me.
I agree. She feels like she's just better than these. How about Enliven, the daughter of It's Tricky? Oh, sorry, It's Tricky. How many falls did It's Tricky have before she died? I loved It's
Maybe
Tricky.
4?
It's Tricky. Do you know why I love It's Tricky?
I'm sure he made a score.
No, because she spent her winter running in New York. She ran in New
Oh,
York
yeah.
all winter. Kieran foolishly shipped her down for the Gulfstream Oaks. She blew up shipping to Florida. They got her back here. She won the Acorn. She beat Turbulent Descent in the Acorn. She was a terrific horse. I mean, she won the coaching club. She won the coaching club. She won the Phipps, I think. I think she won the Phipps.
I know she won the Beldame.
She won the Phipps. I believe she won the coaching club when Royal Delta needed a race, and Royal Delta blasted them in the.
That was the Beldame?
No, in the Coach American Oaks.
the CCA Oaks.
She won. She beat Plum Pretty, I think, and then she finished well behind Royal Delta in there, and she finished second to Royal Delta as a 3-year-old in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. A tremendous horse. There was a horse run the other day. I looked up her dam. The horse had run twice and never won, but in its second start, it finished 4th at odds-on behind It's Tricky.
Wow.
In It's Tricky's maiden race at Ackland.
I saw you point that out.
I love looking up, dams and seeing sort of oddball, funny things like that. Remember the horses. Race number 9, the Graves End. We'll take a look at Frenzy Fire and the newly Grade 2 Vosburg. Okay, it is what it is. I think these algorithms are self-fulfilling and they fill themselves. I think it was ridiculous to beat up on California and take away 3 of their Grade 1s this year. Cut them a little slack, but that's another story. Regardless, this is a very good race. Boy, Imperial Hint, I know he lost yesterday. He ran his eyeballs out at 7 furlongs. What a race he ran in defeat yesterday.
This horse has run a couple of. This horse, Forensic Fire, has run a couple of higher speed figures in his career. I think you could argue that was the best race he ever ran because he was asked to do the dirty work, the inevitable task.
I'll tell you something about this horse. Everybody says he's a miler. He's not a miler. He's a 6 furlong horse. And I think Jason Service now realizes he's run some good races at a mile, and they think about it because of that explosive win in Jerome. I'm going to tell you, this horse is best at 6 furlongs.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that happened with this horse was that Jason had World of Trouble at first, and then World of Trouble, and then they kept this horse running on the dirt, though, and both of them were equally talented. But I think this horse is very good.
I hope
don't
he
think it's
stays
close.
around next year. I would like to see this horse next year as a 5-year-old.
Where do you be going?
No,
Was he going to camp?
he's a full horse.
He's going to camp?
Listen, he's a full horse.
There's a big market for those sprinting or without a Grade 1 sons of
He
Poseidon's
has
Warrior.
a Grade 1. He's
You're
a
going to stand him
champagne.
at
He's the
Stabile Farm?
champagne winner, my friend. He's a Grade 1 winner.
You're right. He beat.
He's a
Who did he
Grade 1.
beat?
He beat Good Magic.
That's right. You're right.
So
I apologize.
He's
No,
a Grade
you're right.
1
You're
winner.
correct.
But I think the plan is to keep him. I'll tell you what. Jason Service has a nice little stable of sprinters right now. He's got this horse. He's got the horse that ran second in
horse you gotta
Florida
look at
yesterday.
here.
Yeah, and this one right
Happy
here.
Farm. I don't like Happy Farm at all today. I don't think that he's able to control in this race. We'll take a look at him. I was surprised that Jason ran this horse back, to be honest. I almost thought he might scratch, and he was helping make sure the race went for Frenzy Fire, but I was clearly wrong about that.
You think he's going to? You don't think he's the controlling speed today?
I don't know. He's not that fast.
Unless Wonderful Light goes.
Why would they rate Frenzy Fire? Why would they rate Wonderful Life?
Do you think they're going to?
Light, let him go today. Didn't work rating him last time. Go today.
Nah, I would. Well, you know what? Listen, this horse was right on top of it last time, and if somebody wants to go like Strike Power did last week, 2 weeks ago, I could see him just
I don't
sitting
get
off
this
of
horse
there.
at all, but
I like him. I like him again today.
okay.
I do.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I think Frenzy Fire is going to win here. I think Newly Minted and Frenzy Fire are a very, very, very short double that is likely to hit.
Who do you think's more likely to win?
Probably Frenzy Fire, but
You
it's
think
close.
so?
It's close.
I think the other filly's far more
Well,
likely.
obviously,
obviously.
Well, obviously, you picked against this
But
horse.
I think the other filly is a. I think the other filly would need one of those horses to really step up.
Yeah, that
And I
horse
think you
who
could
ran
find-
second
get beat this
yesterday
horse.
at Gulfstream, by the way. That was that. I'd forgotten about that horse.
Yeah.
You had me look at the horse PPs. We were down in my office.
bet that horse
That's that
yesterday.
horse that had beaten
He
Bill
was-
DeSuit in his
he
second
was
start
my-
at Belmont.
He was my
Year
Naira
and a
Bet's
half ago.
best bet on the weekend stakes preview. I was ran.
The winner ran a better race. The winner ran a better
But
race.
he hesitated a little bit on the turn. He only got beat a length. I don't know.
The race was collapsing. He
Yeah.
ran well, but the winner, that Diamond Oops, has turned into some good horse.
Just got beaten the.
Was racing the Shadwell was unbelievable.
Mile. Yep.
That was a very big mistake by. Well, it turned out not to be by Patrick because it looked like there wasn't any speed in the mile. There turned out in the turf mile there was a wicked pace, so it wouldn't have helped him. But it felt like he picked the tougher race in the sprint. Race number 10. Number 10 is actually, I thought, one of the more interesting races in the day. What'd you do in race number 10?
We found the same horse.
Oh, we'll take a look at him. Saratoga finishing second.
Yep.
And while we show him, you'll tell us why you like him.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit of class relief now. I mean, especially two back. He faced horses that are light years better than what he's facing this afternoon. He's coming
he faced
back
better last time. He was also in a pace
he
that
did.
fell apart last time.
Cutting back from a couple of mile races back to a sprint. I like this kid Julio Correa. I think he does a good job.
Really?
Getting
I don't think I've seen enough of him to have an opinion one way or the other.
I think he does a good job. I watched him in the Mid-Atlantic as well because I got to cover everything from all over the country. So.
You're like incredible. I mean, you're like
I
the
am.
Edward
I'm a
Murrow
very
of
impressive
horse
individual.
racing. You
Andy.
really are.
I'm a very impressive individual.
I'm going to get
I
some
do
tapes.
it all.
I'm going to get some tapes of those phone conversations when you and Frank Miramonte cut you down to size. He's tough.
Listen, when you take the role of mentor like him and Johnny I have done, I don't want
Let's
you to
talk about
sugarcoat
other
things.
horses that could win here.
Oh, I didn't want to keep talking about me.
You got Legion Storm second. Okay, can I make three
No,
lunch bets
no,
with
no,
horse against
no,
Legion
no.
Storm?
No.
What is a 6-1 like co-second choice basically?
I'm using 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, and I guess you're 11.
Why would you use Coach Villoff, the claimed by Chris Engelhardt?
That's
use
it.
him. Our Storm and Norman makes sense. Getting back on a dry track.
All these horses. Listen, this was a tough race. I thought this was the toughest race I've handicapped in a week and a half. I think that you could make a case for 6 or 7 of them and still not feel comfortable if you're closing a pick 4 or pick 5. You feel well.
I feel comfortable in my top 4.
These races are usually the ones that blow you up.
Really? I almost had the try almost cold yesterday, the last race yesterday. Yeah, you're right, and I lost. I'm so annoyed. Well, the 7
picked the winner.
The 7 should have won or been second.
Yeah,
What's
I don't
going on
disagree.
with these
What was
phones?
that?
I don't know, they just start talking to me all the time.
Wow. I got scared the other day when that Amber Alert came through and the girl kidnapped herself. It was like watching the Big Lebowski.
I'm just glad she was fine. What's that, Justin?
Justin gave you a little Big Lebowski.
Really?
She kidnapped herself, man.
Anthony, we're not discussing
That's the Big
things like
Lebowski.
that. The guy.
That's the line from the Big Lebowski.
Okay.
Jeff Bridges says that.
Okay. I've seen it a few times.
Then he hands him the toe.
I
in
just
the
like
limo. It's fantastic.
It's a great
One of
movie.
my favorites.
Steve Buscemi.
Coen Brothers. Great. Just great. Great. Jeff Bridges. I mean, how great was Jeff Bridges? Guy won an Oscar. He said he wouldn't mind being known as the dude for the rest of his life.
Well, Jeff Bridges in a lot of great movies.
Crazy.
Thunderbolt
He
and
won
Light.
it for
Was
cra-
it
he
Thunderbolt
won-
and Light?
That was the first one, right?
With Clint Eastwood, right? Yeah.
He won it for
No.
Crazy Heart, which was I
I like
absolutely
Crazy
loved
Heart.
Crazy
I
Heart.
like Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's great. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
No, I like that movie a lot. I like him in Last Picture Show. I was watching that the other night.
Sure.
Last Picture is one of the all-time great movies.
Last show I watched with Alan Seeger at St. John's. It was the last movie we saw. It was the Last Picture Show.
Incredible movie.
Professor Alan Seeger worked on all the Bond
Sam the
movies
Lion.
with Ian Fleming. He was my advisor at St. John's.
Ian Fleming was?
No, Alan Seeger. He worked on all the movies with Ian Fleming.
Really?
Yeah.
What movies did Ian Fleming work on?
The Bond movies.
Well, he was a writer.
Whatever.
Did he write the screenplays?
When he was on set for the Bond movies, Professor Seeger was with him.
Really?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Lots of great information on today's Talking Horses. You, in return for all this wonderful information,
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something.
owe yourself a holiday present. Justin's doing a great job there with the slates. Claude just got up. We'll match him to $200 deposit bonus. Use the promo code Big A.
That's me.
Think of our man, Big A. My friend Steve just brought up Jagged Edge. Glenn Close
Fantastic.
and Jeff Bridges. Great movie, I agree. Robert Loggia is in that too, I think, right?
Yes.
Isn't he like the detective or something, like the private eye? $25 risk-free Sundays. Turf Paradise Race 3. Bet $25. Yours wins, you win. Yours doesn't win, you get your money back. How can you pass on that? Through the app, and through the app only. Good luck calling the 5 races today.
Thank you.
For those of you at home, you can hit the mute button shortly after race number
222.
5.
Yeah, 222.
Before or after my prattle, it's really up to you. Maggie's here, though. You may want to listen.
So, like 210, mute it. Open it back up at like 213. Hear Maggie, and then you can mute it the rest of the way.
There you go. All right. Have a great day. Johnny I's coming back, though. Johnny I still here. Hasn't left us yet. Reprise the scratches and changes.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem.